Good afternoon and welcome to The Rundown. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and here are some of your top stories for today, the 8th of December. You can't fire me because I quit. Trump's loyalist Attorney General Bill Barr now on the outs after undercutting his unfounded election fraud claims. He is reportedly considering stepping down before his boss leaves the White House. And in other news, a Virginia Military Institute removes a monument to white supremacy. And the family of a black Ohio man who was shot by a white officer accuses the police of lying about the killing. Casey Goodson Jr. was shot 3 times in the back as he entered his home and died with his keys in the door, according to the family. A white Oklahoma man kills a black woman to teach her a lesson. A lawsuit in Georgia claims that nearly 200,000 registered voters were improperly purged. And Boozie Badazz hit Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, with a $20 million race discrimination lawsuit. And BAP star Natalie Desselle-Reid dead at the age of 53. Let's get to the news. Trump was supposedly furious last week after Bill Barr, one of his most loyal allies, stated that the Justice Department had not seen fraud on a scale that could have affected a different outcome in the election, an acknowledgement that contradicts the baseless charges put forth by President Donald Trump. Attorney General William Barr may be leaving his post at the Justice Department before his boss, President Donald Trump, has a chance to give him the axe. Barr's, whose fate had come into question last week after he publicly undercut Trump's unsubstantiated claims on election-altering fraud, is considering stepping down from his job before the Trump administration ends next month, and could announce his early departure before the year's end. Barr's early exit would deprive President Donald Trump of a cabinet officer who has wielded the power of the Justice Department more deeply in service to a president's political agenda than any attorney general in half a century. The Times also reported that though the decision may be welcome news to Trump's allies, who amidst Barr's recent refusal to embrace Trump's post-election delusion, have called for his departure. Early on in the election aftermath, however, Attorney General William Barr was willing to advise Trump's evidence-free allegations of voter fraud, and was outspoken throughout Trump's campaign in warning, also without evidence, that mail-in ballots could lead to widespread election fraud. A Confederate statue on the campus of one of Virginia's oldest institutions is finally being removed after black students spoke out about a campus culture that literally and figuratively worshiped the graven images of white supremacists. Construction crews gathered by the Virginia Military Institute on Monday to begin the process of removing the statue of Confederate General Thomas Stonewall Jackson. The monument is the school's oldest and most celebrated alumnus, also served as a symbol for the institution's oppression and mistreatment of its black students ever since the 181-year-old military college integrated its ranks in 1968. For years, the Virginia Military Institute cadets were required to salute the Stonewall statue, while flaggers and enthusiasts were reviled about the idea of a Southern white supremacist utopia. One of the cadets told the Root paper that it basically was a Confederate Disneyland. Inspired by the George Floyd protest and annoyed by a September visit from Vice President Mike Pence, several students and Black alumnus began speaking out about the white supremacist culture that permeated at the Lexington, Virginia campus. The statue's removal is part of a series of major changes at the school, including the resignation of the institute's longtime superintendent, General J.H. Binford P. III, and the call for an investigation by the Virginia Governor, Ralph Northam, another Virginia Military Institute alumnus. P. was replaced by Cedric Rims, the first Black superintendent to lead the school. The Virginia Military Institute also pledged to create an Office of Diversity, eliminating its statues as the lone state-supported college or university in Virginia without an Office of Inclusion or Diversity. The family of a 23-year-old Black man who was shot dead by a white officer in Columbus, Ohio on Friday have accused the police of lying about the circumstances of the killing and demanded accountability for his death. Casey Goodson Jr. was shot as he entered his home carrying sandwiches from Subway, according to multiple accounts by family members. His mother said that he was shot 3 times in the back, according to a Facebook post attributed to her. He died on his step with his keys in the door, a lawyer for the Goodson family has said. Police on Sunday identified the shooter as a Franklin County Sheriff Deputy, Jason Meade, a 17-year veteran of the force. As a member of the U.S. Marshals Service Fugitive Task Force, Meade was in the area participating in an unrelated search for a suspect before he shot Goodson. Meade had been suspended from duty and was to be interviewed as part of an internal investigation of the killing, the sheriff's office said also on Sunday. But activists and family members have called for an expanded investigation and expressed outrage at the Peter Tomlin, U.S. Marshal for the Southern District of Ohio, in a press conference on Friday that the killing was justified. That explanation was challenged as thin, and the versions of events was sharply disputed by members of the Goodson family, their representatives, and activists. Goodson had no criminal record, no video of the killing had emerged, and Meade was not wearing a body cam, according to police. Eden Police Department detectives have arrested a 30-year-old man in connection to the murder of a 27-year-old Martika Ferguson. Shane Del Perose was booked on complaints of first-degree murder, possession of a firearm after former felony conviction, and destruction of evidence. Sunday afternoon, officers responded to a report of a woman laying face down on the north alleyway of the 700 block of West Nigel. Officers arrived and found Ferguson had been shot and was dead. Detectives were then called and began their investigation. However, shortly after 2 p.m. on Tuesday, officers and members of the SWAT team department had served a no-knock warrant search at 601 West Rush. During the search of the no-knock warrant, evidence related to the murder was found inside the residence. During the interview, he had confessed he shot and killed Ferguson. Perot said that he had done so to teach her a lesson. And during his booking at the county detention facility, Perot again reiterated that he had murdered Ferguson and said that he was glad he had done so. The investigation of Ferguson's murder is ongoing. And be sure to join Jay Wilson, Rebel Son, The Official Campaign, Conscious TV, and Captivating Christian this and every Thursday at 6:45 Central Standard Time, 7:45 Eastern Standard Time for the Gentleman's Panel, where we are not afraid to go there and discuss an array of topics. See you there. In a lawsuit filed at the Northern District of Georgia, 3 voter advocacy groups say that the state had improperly removed nearly 198,000 people from its voter registration list in 2019 on grounds that they had changed their address. The Georgia chapter of the American Civil Liberties Union released the report in September based on an investigation by a progressive independent journalist who found that most of the approximately 300,000 people removed had not changed their addresses. Since the investigation was completed, several thousand voters have died or moved, but more than 195,000 remain wrongly affected, the suit says. The Georgia ACLU said in a statement that those removed from the rolls were likely to be young voters, voters of lower income, and citizens of racial groups that had been denied their scarce right to vote in the past. The suit comes after a pair of hard-fought Senate races in which neither leading candidate received more than 50% of the vote, sending both contests to a runoff that would be held on January 5th. One race pits Republican Senator David Perdue against Democrat Jon Ossoff, and the other, Senator Kelly Loeffler, also a Republican, will face the Democratic challenger, Reverend Ralph Warnock. If Democrats win both races, they will effectively control the Senate. The office of the Georgia Secretary of State did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but during a separate news conference on Wednesday, Georgia Voting Systems Implications Manager dismissed the allegations. Hey, this is Captivating Christian here to remind you to tune in to Politics and Wellness every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Politics and Wellness every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. And in some entertainment news, Boozie Badazz is planning to file a $20 million racial discrimination lawsuit against Mark Zuckerberg, the co-founder and CEO of Facebook, who also owns Instagram. The Wipe Me Down rapper told reporters that he believes he was banned from Instagram because of his skin color. He claims the ban led to him losing lucrative business ventures to the tune of $20 million. Boozie was reportedly banned from the photo sharing app due to repeatedly violating of Instagram's policies. During his banishment, Boozie made a plea to Zuckerberg to reinstate his account, then offered Zuckerberg $100,000 cash to reinstate his page. Boozie has since registered another Instagram account, Boozie New IG, but he says Instagram disabled his ability to go live on IG stories. The U.S. Department of Justice is also suing Zuckerberg for discrimination against American IT workers by reserving over 2,600 high-paying jobs for foreign workers holding temporary H-1B visas. The Facebook jobs, which offered an average salary of $156,000, were not available to qualified American IT workers. And Natalie Dessau-Reid, who starred in films including Babs and UPN series Eve, has died from colon cancer at the age of 53. Reid was diagnosed with colon cancer early this year. She died in hospice care surrounded by family, according to TMZ. Her death was confirmed by actress Holly Robinson Peete, who announced that Reid died Monday morning from colon cancer. No further details were given. Reid was born in Alexandria, Louisiana. She starred in many films, including Medea's Big Happy Family, and guest starred in Family Matters. She is best known for her role as Mickey in Babs with Halle Berry. Dessau-Reid is survived by her husband, Leonard, and 3 children. Once again, thank you for watching CCN Midday News. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification button so you will never miss another news update. Have a great day. Peace.